All righty.
What's going on, world? It's your boy. All right. All right, now we go. What's going on? It's your boy at Big Game James underscore 36. And this is Big Games BS brought to you by thehumidor.com. Go to thehumidor.com, type in Godfather code, Godfather, all caps, and you can get 20% off a box of cigars. Free shipping is typically given when you get over a certain amount. Um, they bring you Big Games BS and other things. Especially we're not in Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, but you need to go make sure you go check out Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, the greatest cigar lounge in the world. And right now, still in Naples. For those who don't know, I coach lacrosse. We won our game Thursday, and it was great. Um, we held off a team 13-10. It was actually a pretty close game. We broke it open in the third quarter. And then the fourth quarter was just kind of futile on their part. We play state championship game tomorrow in the afternoon. And really just been chilling. But quick housekeeping as we've been growing. And we're 25 people short of the goal. So we're still trying to get to the goal. I might be wrong. We might be 26 short. We're 26 short. So we're 1974. Still a hell of a lot closer than we were. I need you guys to go to Den Media Group's YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Share it. Let's get this up higher. We're really close. Trying to get this $200 away. Help people out. Get the views up. Get more awareness. Then, if you would consider being a member, we would love that as well. That helps contribute to the cause. One day we'll get to 1,000 members, but today we're trying to get to 2,000 subs. So that's that. There's a couple other stuff, so I'm flying blind. Gotta go look at what I sent Miles. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, this Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo. This is how my name is Juan Carlo Ramon Coleman. That would be my name. And basically I'm acting like this all day. The Spanish getting my Cinco de Mayo. What's y'all? Tell me y'all Cinco de Mayo name. What's your Spanish name for today?
Aira cuanta la mela.
Me right here.
Cuanta la mela. Aira cuanta la mela.
What is it? Damn.
He said that he's not gonna give you one red cent until you tell him what flavor the ice cream is.
Vanilla. That's what you ordered.
Okay. Yes. It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Bring the stuff.
Read the star. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There's your ice cream.
Un momento, mono. Denle. Así, come. Dice, el es macho, papi. Ahí está. Jesús. ¿Cómo se llama, papi?
¿Por qué?
He come. And he say,
He say, la 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 bomba, ese testico, tan poca de gracia.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anybody Spanish. That's just one of the most hilarious Spanish scenes of all time. I have no idea what people are saying. But as I was saying before, some of the housekeeping, we won. We won 10-3. I kind of felt our boys were going to do something special because they came out. Well, first they came out listening to Little Boosie. I don't know if you know about lacrosse. Might be the whitest sport next to crew in American history. Even though it was started by the Indians, but it's a very white sport. We went out there. My boys were playing Set It Off by Bootsy. And then we came out and I got video of us in the locker room and we played what I consider the new Negro National Anthem. And if you don't know what the new Negro National Anthem is, actually, I honestly think it should be just the normal national anthem. People forget the national anthem is just a poem. That's all it is. Music. And you hear that? You hear the Boosie. But Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Actually, just go play the Boosie. But this is our guys throwing and catching, getting ready before the game.
They call me bad, and I punish you. You ain't my equal, being people, I ain't wanting you. Since I grab my plate up off the lunch table. I told my
Boosie's universal. All right, now go to the next video, Miles. This is when I really felt we had a chance. Because it's just when I saw this, they all self-edited too.
I used to break the times like this, to ride like this, so I had to ride like that, to shine like this, and magical time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, girls locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares control. It was time to marry the king, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it when it's clear I do. It's sure,
Sometimes you just know.
Never let them roll in between the movie started. Love nigga, but I'm lying hard.
That's what I was waiting on. I was trying to curious, but everybody was gone. Nobody did it. No Marcus Stokes right here. No Nice football here with the lacrosse guys. So no kids needed to get harmed, but they're gonna have fun their way, and that's something that I've learned as an old guy to try to embrace what the youth are doing. One thing that I'll never understand is baseball. And baseball has this old guard, this thing where they don't want the game to be played any way besides the way it's supposed to be played. And I think more people will watch baseball if there was more theatrics to it. If you look at the Savannah Bananas, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. They go around, they're always sold out, and they do a lot of really cool shit. But watch this, I guess it's a routine ground ball, but with a little flair, a little pizzazz. He gets it. Oh, well, it kind of skipped the thing while I was buffering. He gets it, flips it up in the air, grabs it, and then throws the guy out. I thought that was cool. Old Mustache Pete Twitter, though, thought that this is the problem with the world. This is why kids are going to hell. The guy who I found this from, tweet went viral. He has 26.5 million impressions. He's like, I'm all about having fun playing a kid's game. But yeah, I don't like this at all. Wander Franco. And somebody put that's a hot dog move, unsportsmanlike, and it's not honorable, just selfish. I don't dislike it because he's having fun. I dislike it because it's just bad baseball. If he drops that and he gets on base, he's screwed. As a manager, I would definitely call him out. But what if he doesn't? Like what he did? Like, what if he just did something that was cool? Like, it's kind of like when you throw the basketball off the backboard and then you dunk it. It's like a trick. It's like a backflip. It's all kinds of different things. There's so many hidden rules and what you can and what you cannot do in baseball that it's a wonder. It's no wonder the sport is losing popularity every day. What's different from this than when the guy taps his glove? He pats it, pat, and then throws it. Except for this is actually got flair. You can't flip a bat. You can't run too fast when you hit a home run. You can't run too slow. Or you're going to have to face retribution. I just don't understand if these people really want fans. And it goes like in the face of what I actually learned a couple years ago when I went to Kansas City to tour the Negro League Museum. And this is why the Negro Leagues were much more popular and were selling out ballparks because their players did things like this. They had a flair for the game. It was a showmanship. It's what professional sports is supposed to be entertaining. You have done all the little work to get yourself to where you can make the routine a little bit more flashy. You don't have to like sit back and just be boring. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, some of y'all really need to like reevaluate. One person's put, what about the guy who was the pitcher? He was a journeyman. Like, everything he did was perfect. I mean, from what I understand, the throw was perfect. The fielding was perfect. I actually would want my son to do everything like that, including have his shirt unbuttoned a little bit like that. I just don't understand baseball. And I don't understand the problems. But you got to have fun their way. And it's basically this Drewski skit that I just found. This is what I'm learning that some people want athletes, black, white, or whatever. They want them to behave in a certain manner. So if you go to that next link, Miles, this is basically how they want all athletes to act. Like on field, you got to do it the right way. Fundamentals. Off field, you have to be like this, or you're going to get called in the principal's office.
You know his mom still his fucking agent. Hey, buddy. This is Coach Spoelstra down here in Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah. You know, we want to bring you back to the association, buddy. Make the wife proud, make everyone proud down here at the association. Just got to change up your act and clean up your image, huh? You know, we want to get you around some good quality people, buddy. Not so much like the rappers, you know? Like, let the rappers be rappers. You play fucking basketball. Shut the fuck up, right? Yeah. So in order to clean up that image, buddy, we want to lose the dreads, the locks, the wigs. Yeah. You know, and we're so proud of you down here, buddy. We just want to do less dancing and more dribbling the fucking ball. Right? Okay. Let's get a real parade inside our city. I got Coach Dakota here. He's waiting to speak to you, buddy. Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hey. I just want to piggyback on Coach about all the allegations. You know, listen, you're not a thug.
Not a thug, buddy.
You're not a thug.
Yeah.
You're here for a reason. And, you know, we support BLM. Okay. So
And we want to make all the quality
basically. It's just shut up and ball. But that's not the entertaining. That's not why any of us watch this, man. We all watch this because they're good and they're like in the showmanship of it. So that's what people have to get over themselves with and check in and just go on. It's just more and more old people are trying to mess up the fun. Keep it in that theme. Proud alumnus Danny Cannell is the king of bad takes when it comes to what young athletes are doing, and a guy who has lost all of his like connection to today's game, being an old mustache Pete. And if you look at his tweets, hold on, lost my sound. But if you look at what Danny's talking about, and what he's coming from is, and let me try to see if I can find one of these. Because we just had Keon Coleman, who hopefully will come to Florida State. He left Michigan State. He entered the transfer portal. And when they hit the transfer portal, a lot of these young men, they go and they type their heartfelt feelings about leaving the school. So this is what Keon Coleman, I'm going to read one of these for an example, and then I'm going to read you what Danny Cannell said. Dear Spartan Nation, I know you already have seen rumors and speculation. Yes, they are true. I wanted to take the time and show my appreciation to you all. I appreciate you for all taking me in with open arms, helping me become the player that I am and the man I am off the field. I appreciate the everlasting support I've received in my time being here. To the coaching staff, I thank you for giving me a chance to further my academic and athletic career here. And I'm very appreciative of the growth development that has happened over the past few years. After careful consideration, I've decided to enter the transfer portal. So he's a guy who had no choice. I want to read another one. Try to think of somebody. So let's go with it. Actually, I'll go with Florida State. Norvell has retweeted quite a few of them. Let's see if we can find one. I don't want to. Michael Pittman is too long. All right, so Zane Herring. Thank you for everything, Florida State. I'm entering my name into the transfer portal with 3 years of eligibility left. Dear FSU community, I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for the support and opportunities that FSU has given me over the past 3.5 years. As a student athlete, after careful consideration and discussions with my family and coaches, I've decided to explore my options and transfer as a graduate student to continue my football career elsewhere. This decision was not easy, but I believe it was a choice for my future and my development as a player. I have grown so much during my time at Florida State, both on and off the field, and I am forever grateful. So I don't see anything wrong with those comments. I can tell you 2 different players, 2 different paths. Michigan State did not want to lose Keon Coleman. Florida State needed scholarships, and I'm sure it was a mutual decision for Zane Herring to leave Florida State. So what did Danny Cannell say that was so bad that, James, you felt the need to discuss it? Well, Danny Cannell decided to go because he's not a fan of the transfer portal. He's not a fan of name, image, and likeness. He is a fan of the way things used to be, and he's upset about the way things are going now. And I'm I'm trying to find it so I can read it. Never mind. You got it. Go ahead, put it up on the screen, Miles. I just try to read off it up. Dear college athletes, please stop writing love letters to your school after you decide to bounce. Sincerely, college fans everywhere. Talking about a guy who didn't read the room, who doesn't understand what's actually going on. Like, you've been there before. And there's thousands of athletes in the transfer portal. You talk about a narrative that's been painted by universities and by mainstream media, where you actually think the Zane Herrings of the world are choosing to enter the transfer portal with nowhere to go, no options. You think every kid that enters the transfer portal literally entered the transfer portal because they're afraid of competition. As I've told people, I didn't know what the transfer portal was until a college coach told me about it. And he told me they were going to use this as their ability to cut players. Basically saying there's no future for you here. It's best you explore your options elsewhere. So maybe the kids really did have an affinity, for where they're going. They didn't want to leave. They were asked to not come back. Everybody doesn't give you 4-year guaranteed scholarships anymore in college. Like, they've got your replacement there. And even if they weren't, grown men every day do what's best for them. I want to repeat this. Grown men every day do what's best for them. And Renegade Report put something up here very good. Those exit interviews are something else. Everybody gets them. And you know what happens to some of us? You get that exit interview, and they tell you something different than what it was when you got there. And they say it's best for you to do what's in the best interest for you because we're going to do what's in the best interest of us. Danny Kanell should know this better than anybody else. Danny Kanell had an exit interview with ESPN. When he got fired from ESPN, he wrote this. I poured my heart and soul into ESPN for the last 8 years. Moved my wife and 3 kids to Connecticut to go all in 5 years ago. Bummed it ended in 3 minutes. ESPN decided that they didn't want it to go on from you. And you decided that you wanted to write us a heartfelt letter. We didn't need to hear that shit, per your logic. Daniel Kanell. Then Danny doesn't know how to read the room. You have to be incredibly dumb to think this is some kind of gotcha moment. Now, there's this thing called ratio in Twitter. I really don't know how it works. I do know it's just like there's 7 quote tweets and there's like 406 likes. It's like the people are showing you that you're stupid. It's exactly the same thing that the athletes that he is just chastising did. In a world where people feel like they want to be right, when is it wrong to ever be polite? Like, when is it ever wrong to ever not burn a bridge? What do you want them to say? What do you want Keon Coleman to say? Mel Tucker, fuck you you've ruined my career by playing a quarterback with a duck arm, and I got to get out of here as fast as possible. And your traditions are stupid at Michigan State. No, that's not how it's not how the business world works. You typically never know when you're going to introduce or you're going to see these people again. So you act like a professional, whether you're being fired or whether you're not. But Danny's just always saying some shit that's just out of this world. Like it would almost believe like you didn't play football. And I know what I said to Danny is that have to be incredibly naive to think that most of these kids are leaving on their own, based on their own premises. They're leaving because they're being asked to not come back. And is it fair? I don't think so. I think if you sign a letter of intent, I think you should be guaranteed a scholarship for 4 years. I don't believe you should be able to be cut. I think in 2024, you'll start to see things after 2024, you'll see things level out as the NCAA is bringing back APR. So you can't just push kids out. Right now, there's no APR. It's annual progress rate. So what happens is you have to have every year, you have to have progress toward graduation. So like I think by the time you're a senior, you have to have 75% of your classes done. And that's how they'll rate you. And basically you have to graduate after a certain amount of years. We're going to pull up Florida State's APR here, which was pretty rough, but now it's really, really good. Actually, you can go ahead and click on that. Miles, it's the second link under More Good News for FSU. But I'll go ahead and show you. So to be under probation, I think you have to be under 923. Or no, the average NCAA average. No, yeah, 923. NCAA. Damn, that's not it. Huh. I thought I sent that to you. Maybe I didn't. Okay, I know I have it. No, Mike done retweeted that. Yeah, there we go. All right. So FSU's APR is 972, which is well above where you need to be at, even if the APR was a part of this stuff. But eventually, if your APR falls below 9, let's just say 930, you'll be in territory where you'll get suspended and you will not be able to you'll lose scholarships. So with that being said, if you push your kid into the portal and he doesn't land anywhere, he still counts towards your APR. So you need guys to graduate. That was something that Tag ran into. Tag couldn't flip the entire roster. COVID helped guys flip the entire roster because they suspended this. This is a major thing. If for context, if you want to know, Jimbo fucked us. And Jimbo, if you're a Texas A&M Aggie fan, Jimbo got you in the same predicament that we were in. Because that's what Jimbo does. Jimbo runs his team like an NFL roster. So when I see guys like Danny Cannell saying shit like this, it's the big adults. What's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. People can blame NIL. They can do all kinds of other stuff. But the reality is, it's called capitalism. It's the American way. We grew up learning about capitalism, so you can't get mad at people choosing to participate in capitalism. It's un-American. But that's just great news for Florida State. We do things the right way. We graduating cats. You see Mike Norvell always retweet the guys who are leaving, making sure that they do what they need to do. And we also got another top 10 list. If you click on that first one, Miles, I told you guys, well, that's we can keep that. Yeah, right here. So if you look, top 10 offensive line unit rankings. Number 1, rightfully so, Georgia. Number 2, Michigan. Number 3, Notre Dame. Number 4, a team that we beat, but that we'll see again next year, LSU. Number 5, Texas, which is weird seeing as they were asked. Number 6, Alabama. Number 7, Utah. Number 8, USC. And at number 9, the Florida State University. I believe Johnny Wilson was on the 7th rated wide receiver returning. I believe we'll have more top 10 stuff. I was in a Spaces yesterday where it was a FSU, Florida, University of Miami Spaces. And if you don't know what Spaces are, it's basically a podcast that's live on Twitter. And from there, we discussed all kinds of different things. I got on late because I was ushering 50 lacrosse kids to dinner after our post-game meal after our win. But I hopped on. There was some interesting questions. The guy said, do I think Florida State will win 10 games and why? And he went on to say why he didn't think Florida State would win 10 games. And his rationale was what happened to Miami, and they didn't do it. It was basically we couldn't do it after we won 10 games, so y'all can't do it. When there are different things, one, Florida State returns in the top 10 quarterback, top 10 running back, top 10 wide receiver, top 10 offensive line, top 10 defensive line. They'll probably rate our linebacker room high. When you have that many high-ranked pieces mixed with our schedule, it's hard to not be excited. And as Miles put up here in the graphic, we have 3 players ranked in the top 32 players in the NCAA, according to 247 Sports. One of which is his nephew, who doesn't get enough accolades. And that's Kalen DeLoach. Toss up the 4s. But Kalen DeLoach is one of the top linebackers in the nation. Jordan Travis, Jared Verse. In fact, I looked at a mock yesterday, and Jared Verse and Fabian Lovett were drafted in the first round. Jared Verse top 10, Fabian Lovett the 32nd overall pick. Not saying that's going to happen. What I am saying is that Florida State returns a boatload of talent that they didn't traditionally have over the past years. Or, excuse me, I shouldn't say traditionally. They haven't recently had the collective talent that they have right now, most of which did come from out of the transfer portal. But they fit what Mike Norvell was trying to do. Till Dog 12 asked a really good question, and I'm going to shout out my dog, Till Dog, even though he don't have a green. Till Dog has been subscribed and repping for quite some time. And if you get the green, or if you do a super chat, that's how you can get your question answered pretty good. But I like this one. Why do lighter skinned capitalists hate when darker skinned people try to be capitalists? And it's a question that I don't really know. I do know it's not. For people, before you jump on me for reading it and him, realize that's a generalization. It's a lot more lighter skinned capitalists than darker skinned capitalists. So it's not all. It's not specific. Like, I believe specific to a lot of lighter skinned capitalists, they love it. It's the old, what I call them, it's a mob term. Old mustache Pete's. They don't like the new way. And sometimes I think people feel like they're getting left behind because somebody with a skill set that they believe is a game is going to get an opportunity to pass them. When I always argue to people, Monopoly is a game. Chutes and Ladders is a game. This ain't a game. I can't roll out of my bed and go play football. Not at that level. Not at the level that anybody wants to see. If right now, if I take a hit, I'd probably cry. But what I would like for you to do right now is we're going to take a pause. And I need everybody right now who's watching, please click that like button. And just so we got 20 people watching the live right now, 21. We can get 21 likes. That'd be dope. Just push that like. Cost you absolutely nothing but a little bit. Actually help you burn some calories. I think it's 3 calories for every like that you post on the page. So we do that. I appreciate that if you guys would. Also, we are still trying to get to that point. I wonder where we at right now. Did anything change? Wi-Fi at the hotel sucks. Can't wait to get back to Jacksonville. Oh, still the same. So hopefully we'll have it by Monday's show. But all in all, Florida State's looking pretty good. And we talked about Florida State and Miami yesterday. Some things came out. But another, just, I guess, old people acting brand new. But I happen to like this guy. He's one of the most innovative. He's one of the most innovative guys in radio history. He's probably the reason why guys like me had an opportunity. And that's Howard Stern. Howard Stern is, like, I'll even go as far as saying the GOAT of radio. He was doing it big, having his national show when I was like young. But sometimes I just don't know what happens in the brain stems. So, and he did this on his show. And he's the original shock jock. And the basis of it is Howard Stern is upset. He's upset that the black players don't talk to him. He sits courtside. He sits next to other celebrities, and I'm looking at a picture right now. And he says he's not acknowledged at all. And some of the stuff it's quite entitled. I'm going to repeat what he says. So during the Howard Stern show on SiriusXM, Stern began an argument with his show sidekick, Robin, African-American woman, by saying he didn't like the players won't say hi to him. The Knicks have been very kind to me. They put me right in the front row. That's when I knew I was famous. When I have courtside. They put me courtside. and the black players will come over and say hello to me, but they go over to Spike Lee. I just want to put this out there. Our grandmamas did not grow up listening to Howard Stern, unless Robin's your grandmother. Like, I only know of you because you had a cool ass movie, I think, and then you had it was on TV for a little bit. You've done some wild stuff, but especially even in the South, I couldn't tell you where growing up what station the Howard Stern show came on. And right now it's on Sirius, which is basically Choose. I can promise you, none of these basketball players who are probably between the ages, most of them, of 20 and 30 know who the fuck you are. And how dare you say they should know who I am because they know who Chris Rock is. Chris Rock is a black comedian who all of our parents watched and listened. That's why. Tracy Morgan, Saturday Night Live. You don't have to pay for Sirius XM to listen to Tracy Morgan. You could actually watch him on public television. I'll be sitting next to Tracy Morgan or Chris Rock. You know, they sit you where they seat you. And a lot of times when I'm there, I'm next to Tracy, who's funny. And he's sitting there, and like a couple of players will come over. They'll give him the bro shake and stuff. And I'm like, these guys should hug me too. And then he added this. I grew up in a black neighborhood, but I get ignored. Robin asked, do you believe it's a racial thing because you're white? I'm sure they talk to some white people, Robin says. No, not that I saw. I want them to talk to me. I want them to come up and go, hey, Howard, fan of your show or something. I don't get that. And you know who comes to me sometimes? The referees, the old people. Well, he didn't say that. I'm saying the old white men come and talk to you. Like, hey, Howard, hey. But yeah, a lot of the white referees. So I'm like, oh, is everything racial now? Can I get a shout out from some of the players? Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. I like to think it's a white thing, not my personality. I hope it's racial. That's all. Fame to me is very important. I like people to recognize me. Wow. What a fucking snowflake. Like, I couldn't. You know what this is the equivalent of? I have really famous friends, like on different levels. I didn't know who the fuck Benji Brown was. Benji Brown, and some of you guys might know who Benji Brown is. But Benji Brown is a famous comedian. Sells out arenas. Is on tour with Martin Lawrence. I didn't know who Benji was. I treated him nice. Benji's dope. Peter Ward, one of the greatest college football players to ever play. Good friend of mine. You know what happens to my fame when Peter Ward comes in the room? Goes down. Nobody sees me. I'm a large man. When I tell you nobody sees me when Peter Ward is around, nobody sees me when Peter Ward is around. If I go in a room, if me and T-Pain walk into a room, I expect everybody to know who T-Pain is. And I have a little bit of the fame, but I don't want to cry because nobody talks to me. George with Renegade Report, always on top. That was the end for Howard. He got that serious money and just got fat on money. Just like these congressmen that are going to change everything when they get into office. Then they get it laid out. But like, basically, Like, who the fuck cares? Nobody's here to see you, Howard. Imagine big time, or not big time. I'm trying to think. AC Green. AC Green. Big enough basketball player that people should know who he is. Howard Stern's at work. AC Green comes in and just sits down. Nobody tells Howard Stern that AC Green is coming in. Should AC Green be offended if Howard Stern doesn't talk to him? Maybe you didn't watch the Lakers like that. We talk about the youth being entitled, but yet every day we see old people living the most entitled lives. I'm famous. You should know who I am. I'm upset because the young black boys won't talk to me. Spike Lee is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Radio, there's a saying, I call it media handsome, but you have a face for radio. Like, bro, it's a reason why they listen to our voices and they don't want to see our faces. Spike Lee is in a visible place. These other guys are in visible places. But I can't wrap my mind around that. But I do know why. Again, a lot of things are sometimes a generalization. It's not everybody. And I've actually, since I've been doing this, it's been great because I found a lot of white people experience the same shit. A lot of white people are probably peeved that Howard Stern and who the fuck do you think you are? But I do know this. Old, powerful, rich white men believe the world should revolve around them and that they have all the answers to correct things. That's why you saw something in the Pensacola area where some guys were fishing, and the people who always take it up upon themselves to be the police of everyone typically are older white men. Guys grabbed their guns and they just shot at people fishing. And people were like, well, this should happen. And I'm like, why? Why should that happen? Why not call the police? Why did you feel the need to fill in? Well, it happens. It's one of the things that people do. And nothing more than this thing from IG. Like this skit, if you want to know what a day in a life is for Big Game, this is me at a golf course. If you when you get that up, Miles, and this is of the thread of a Howard Stern.
Oh, it's 10% off today. It's only $180. Sweet.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey man, real quick, you're gonna want to flip the grip. Right hand is low. Happy to help. And glad we're growing the game.
That's the shit I'm talking
That's the shit I'm talking about.
time.
What are you
All the
saying, bro?
So what the sound was off a little bit, and I know people in the SoundCloud are going to be like, James, what the hell just happened? It was two brothers went to the golf course, and obviously you stand out. So one guy just making small talk, and a lot of it's harmless. It's really harmless. And it's like the more particular part is like when they correct you and you're better at the game than they are. And you just smile. You just learn to just smile and just go out. The fact that a lot of y'all just get naked around strangers like that is a little bit much to me. Like, I don't want to see your sausage. Like, that's throwing me off. But I think Howard Stern would be one of those guys that would get butt ass naked, try to have a conversation with you, and they get mad because you don't want to talk. Because that's happened to me. Like, people just like, James just seems so mean. Well, when did you meet him? Well, we were at the gym, and he was trying to change his clothes, and I was naked, and I was trying to have a conversation with him. It's not when I want to talk to you. Put your penis up, and then we can talk like men. I don't need that out here in my face. But yeah, George, you from out that way. But you shoot at me, I'm shooting back. That's what I always tell people. But then click on the next IG thing on this. And now I gotta try to remember what I have this listed as. Okay. And then again, powerful men. I also think Howard Stern is one of them type of guys that we're about to mention to talk about right now. But I don't know who Matthew Lawrence is. Do anybody know? Maybe I should. Let me Google Matthew Lawrence. But this was on Little Duval's page. Oh, he's 43 years old. He's relatively young. He doesn't look like that picture. He's in a lot of movies. Whatever. Matthew Lawrence talking about Hollyweird.
I've been propositioned to get a huge role. I've lost my agency because I went to the hotel room, which I can't believe they would send me to, of a very prominent Oscar award-winning director who showed up in his robe, asked me to take my clothes off and said he needed to take Polaroids of me, and that if I did X, Y, and Z, I would be the next Marvel character. I didn't do that, and my agency fired me because I left this director's room. A lot of my other male friends have gone through with both men and women in this industry, but there's a double standard, and this is where I bring Terry Crews. Terry Crews comes out and says it, people are laughing at him. They kick him out. Why? Because he's a man that represents masculinity, and I think our society is less ready to hear that situation going on with men than they are with women, actually. Look.
Yeah, some truth in that.
There's been many times.
In reality, though, Terry Crews got picked on because Terry Crews was telling black people what black people needed to do to get by, and then gave us this crotch story about a man grabbing your dick at a party. But things like that happen, not just in Hollywood, every aspect. But I do believe this: at a certain point, you have to ask yourself, what's more important, my respect or my my bank account? Now, some of y'all might be all right with somebody touching you and then getting your bread right. I'm not. Like, that might be why I'm not rich, but I'm cool with that. The other part of it I don't like it with this story is the guy says something, but then he doesn't say who it was. Like, that's the thing that really bothers me. Like, make the statement. Like, go all in. Like, I don't understand how you can say one thing and then like you're coming out and then you don't come out. But you touch me, I'm gonna make an example later. But I don't think it's just a Hollywood thing, because knowing politics and knowing a lot of this other stuff. Remember, Miles, the one thing that sucks about this is that Miles is like 6 hours away from me right now, so we can't have the interaction that we normally have. But we did a show, and we were talking about the guy who couldn't stand up for himself, and when he tried to stand up for himself on a podcast, they took his legs out of him, legs away from him, and it was the politician that they called a rock star, and he talked about. Hold on, let me see. There's a representative that was in a wheelchair. He had he was former military. He was bragging about his guns. He talked about these weird parties. Madison Cawthorn. He was a U.S. representative from North Carolina. What the wild part is, they put money behind his opponent to get him out of there because he started snitching on the sex parties that they were having, that the Republicans were having. And that's just how that world is. And then I think a lot of just regular jobs at the top, people do weird shit. And I think if you let them know you're not about that weird shit, they're not going to mess with you. But if you are about that, they going to, like Puffy and them, they're going to come over there and try to tickle your booty hole, which is nothing wrong with that. If that's what you like to do, God bless. It's just, it's not my cup of tea. Ain't nobody doing that to get scholarships in my world. But lastly, I want to talk about we can't be honest. And we're going to get to a world where everybody can be honest. But when men are honest to women, it sucks. Like it's a bias. You're being sexist. You're doing all these things. But women can tell us the truth all the time. And this is where Kevin Samuels was right. And if you could just click that last link, Miles, and then we'll end it on that. Because this guy told the truth. Told the 100% truth. It was about, yeah.
One question for y'all. Y'all ready? Rate me 1 through 10.
Rate you 1 through 10 or rate your outfit through 1 through 10?
You want to do both? That's okay if you want to do both.
This is your video.
Okay. All right. Rate me 1
Rate
through
you
10.
1 through 10. I'm going to give you a
8.
7.5.
Damn. Okay.
7.5.
That goes crazy.
Why is it crazy?
Because I'm not no 7 or a half.
How did you know that?
Because I'm mean.
Because all these sentences there told you a bunch of lies?
No.
What? It's
Damn.
crazy. It's crazy. Can't tell you 7.5?
No, I just know myself. So I'm not a 7.
What do you think you are?
I'm a 10.
You're a 10? That's a fucking lie. I'm going to be 100.
Question for y'all. Y'all ready?
So the person who I think broke this down the best, rankings are tough. And anytime you do this, you put yourself in a position which is tough. Like, I would never ask this, but I'm also rational. I call myself medium handsome. And that's all that matters. But I do know there's some handsomer individuals out here. So I would never rate myself a 10. What I do know is that 5 is average. I think I'm slightly above average. I definitely don't think I'm ugly. But there's not a lot of points like in between there. But I think Patrice O'Neal came up with the best. Like, you have to rate people on a scale of 0 to 30. Because you could be dead ugly. And I've seen, not you guys, but I've seen some people and they're ugly. But you could be pretty ugly, which means like you're on the 10, but like you're on the high scale of ugly. But then you're 11 to 20, like you could be an 11 and you could be on the low scale of average. But then we can be like a 20 and you're on the better side of average. 30 is just fine. But you got to be able to rate your fineness. Because like Beyonce's fine to me. Rihanna's fine to me. But I don't even think they're 10s. I think there's a lot of work that they have. I think people don't understand that above average is good. So like a 6 is above average. You're in elite territory. My man William with the $5 sticker. Yes, sir. I will answer that. I was going to answer before you gave the $5, but I'm definitely going to answer it now. James, do you think we get both Coleman and Keys? I think Key will announce this weekend. I don't think Cuz goes to every visit that he has, but I do think we have a very good chance of landing both. I believe we'll get Key. I believe that there's an 80% chance of landing Coleman, 75% chance of landing both. That's my thoughts on that. I think that Coleman sees an opportunity here, and I think it's going to take it to the next level. So, and as Thomas Morey says, you're right. A lot of girls in college get lost like this. You were a 10 where you grew up at, and you're not a 10 in LA when you go to a college campus. It's like they're trying to find that attention that they used to get, and you no longer get that. But anyways, man, we're over our hour. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully we will get to our goal by Monday's show. We're still at 1974. We're 26 short of the goal. Hopefully we'll get that. We'll be giving $200 away on the on Monday's show. Make sure you please go click the like button right now if you haven't clicked it already. We're at 23 likes. I know we've gone up and down on the views. So if you can go click that like button if you haven't liked it already, go back, watch it, add comments as you see something to fit. But I appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me, and we will see you Monday.